Welcome back to ESPR Boxing. Just me tonight, none of the other lads available, so you are unfortunately stuck with just me. We're going to review the Sky Sports slash Boxer show headlined by Adam Azim. Adam Azim, quite surprisingly, taking the distance by Santos Reyes. Don't think it's a result too many people were expecting. I know I certainly wasn't. The bookmakers weren't, and no one I spoke to about the fight really was. So, bit of a talking point there, I suppose. Fight started like any other Adam Azim fight does. He was, a lightning quick jab in that first round. Didn't really put too many right hands behind it, but then the second round started to open up on Reyes and sent him crashing down with a huge right hand and looked for a second as if the fight could have been over. I think there was maybe a brief second Azim could have pounced on Reyes as he was sort of mid-fall. It was quite a slow fall. And if he had done there, the fight 100% would have been over. Wasn't a million miles away from being over anyway, but fair play to Reyes, beat the count. Sort of gathered himself, rode out the storm for the rest of the round. And, throughout the rest of the fight, was never really in too much trouble. I think it's fair to say, obviously, Azim landed loads of eye-catching and hurtful shots, but at no point did you think after that he's close to going here, which is credit to Reyes. They brought him over with the idea of him being tough and durable and giving Azim some rounds and proved to be the perfect candidate for that. So, sure, Shane McGuigan's delighted with the choice opponent this time. Reyes never in any danger of winning a round, though Azim, I don't want to say faded, but started boxing a different fight. There wasn't quite the same spite in the shots, and you can see his gas tank had depleted slightly, but he clearly isn't a fighter who gasses, certainly not at this level, and a lot of boxes ticked from that. As I say, won every round. Did start to ship a couple of shots towards the end. I think the eighth Reyes landed quite an eye-catching shot, but as I say, at no point was he hurt. No point was he under real pressure and won every round, plus with a knockdown. So a very wide, 189 decision in favour of Adam Azim. Part of him, he'll probably annoyed he didn't manage to get Reyes out of there with fighters' egos being the way they are. But, he'll look back as that as a solid learning fight and one that'll, show him, put him in good stead as he moves forward. Shane McGuigan, I'm sure, will be delighted. He's been calling for rounds for a long time for Adam Azim. He knows, Shane McGuigan's a good trainer. He knows boxing and he knows as you move up the levels, you're not going to be just destroying everyone you fight in 2 or 3 rounds. So it'll be interesting to see the rest of 2023 for Adam Azim. They're chatting about world title shots next year. I think that still might be a bit soon, but certainly can progress up with some more recognisable domestic name. I think Casey Benjamin's a good fight. Sam Maxwell, though he looks like that's being lined up as a potential Dalton Smith fight, I think. But a lot of good names in around 140, 135 for Adam Azim. Probably more likely 140 moving forward now. So, yeah, interesting. Co-main, we had Anthony Sims against Zach Chelly. Zach Chelly upsetting the odds to beat Anthony Sims, who was quite a clear favourite with the bookmakers. But Zach Chelly just does what Zach Chelly does. Just outworked him, uses strength. Sims was, really underwhelming. I really struggle to see where he goes. The dip his stock has taken since the last 3-4 years when he was tipped as a blue chip prospect. I think it's fair to say at one point, and obviously the Angulo loss, 3 sort of tread and water fights, or 4 was it maybe, and then obviously losing the English champion Zach Chelly. No, that's no disrespect to Zach Chelly. I think he is beyond English level in fairness, but long way back for Sims, and not just the loss, but the way he lost. Looked at times like a fighter who, 10 years older than he was. And it was strange because I think it was the 8th round. He really stuck it on Chelly and he needed to at that point. The fight was sort of still in the balance. And then the last 2 rounds just coasted again and just got outworked by Zach Chelly. And whilst the cards were maybe a touch wide, I think maybe 90, was it 98, 93, 90, something like that, 97, 93, but wide maybe. But, a worthy winner, Zach Chelly was, I thought, and probably has the scope to, get some big fights moving forward. Shot at the British, Jack Collin, who knows. After that, you had Vidal Riley, obviously big potential cash cow, but 3rd round stoppage of Anis Taj. Was shaping up to be quite a good fight, actually, but Taj had his moments, started very aggressively, tied a couple of times, and then sort of adopted a slightly more cautious approach, but suffered a really bad cut in the 3rd round, sort of around here. And the doctor, after the referee instructed the doctor to come have a look at it, they waved it off. Obviously, Taj not too happy about it. I don't think Riley probably wanted the fight to end that way either. But a good win for Vidal Riley. I think he can do a lot at cruiserweight, certainly domestically, potentially even beyond that. But still, ways to go. But he's young. Tyler Denny, another, the Tyler Denny train rolls on. Decision win, very wide, unanimous decision win over Brad Pauls. Great run, Tyler Denny. Again, this very similar performance to the Brad Ray fight. Just outworked him. Just outworked him. Great pressure fighter. Nice and busy, head and body. I think he actually is more powerful than his record would suggest. Looked not badly hurt, but certainly, pushed back and stunned. And Pauls was wary of his power, and Pauls just never got going. Like, first round looked like he froze. Second round's probably the only round I clearly give him, and then after that it was just all Tyler Denny. So, shot at the British, I think more than deserved now for Tyler Denny, without a doubt. He's a British level fighter without question, and they do for a rematch. I suppose appeals if that can't be made, but deserves a shot at the British title, I think. And last but not least, Caroline Dubois, third round stoppage win over a Tanzanian journeyman who I'm not going to insult by trying to pronounce her name. Not too much to say about this. Another fairly overmatched opponent for Dubois. Clearly carries a bit of power, but there wasn't a great deal landed clean in the flurry that the fight actually stopped from. Round prior to that, she had Mo Frey, probably not great. She had her hurt in the second and down in the second. But I didn't hate the stoppage. She wasn't going to win the fight, and she was, solely on the back foot, and probably saved from 2-3 more rounds of punishment for Dubois. But time for a step up for Dubois. They're chatting about her as a potential world champion next year. She needs to, as they say, some former Katie Taylor opponents would be good for her. But very promising, very exciting female fighter, and a good addition. But we will wrap it up there, folks, because as you can tell, my eyes are closing by the second here. It's getting very late. I'm getting very tired. Hope you did enjoy. Please comment your thoughts on the fight, the Azim fight, the Riley fight, the Denny fight, whatever you thought of the card, let us know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe. Loads of content here at ESBRs, I'm sure you know. And some really good access to shows at the minute. We should be at Wood Lara next week. Just keep your eyes peeled for interviews. Obviously, try to stay up as much as we can with fight news, breakdowns, reactions, betting tips. Could go on. Please subscribe and cheers.